Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, we are going to be talking about Thredup and all of the craziness that went down yesterday. In case you guys missed it, I'm going to fill you all in. There's been there were some temporary changes made on Thredup yesterday, but they are going to be coming soon. So we're going to get into all of that. Before we do, if you guys are new, thank you so much for stopping by. I make all kinds of content related to reselling, and I'm a mom, so I talk a lot about family and things like that. If you guys are interested in that type of content, make sure that you subscribe and stick around. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into the subject now. So as I mentioned, I'm a reseller. I'm a mom and a reseller. I sell on multiple platforms. I'm on eBay, I'm on Poshmark, I'm on Mercari, Citizen, Tradesy. My cat just jumped up in case you see her. And then I'm also on Thredup. So Thredup, I've actually been selling on Thredup for a really, really long time. I've been using it to sell like my personal clothing and my kids' clothing for years and years. So I've been on there for a really long time, but I've only been using it like as a reselling tool and as like an additional reselling platform since probably about April, when I started hearing a lot of other people were doing it, and I got some insight on how to utilize it better. And I did just post a video all about how to make more money on Thredup. So that video unfortunately is going to be obsolete because they're going to be making some changes. So if you guys did not know, you could adjust your pricing on Thredup, and they did have a guideline on how you could do that. So when they first receive your items, they set an MSRP, or like the suggested retail price for an item. And I mean, they're not always super accurate, but usually they're pretty much in the right ballpark for each item. And then you're able to set your pricing to a maximum of 80% of that MSRP, or the retail price. So, you know, that's a pretty high amount. That's almost, you know, close to the original reselling price. So, or retailing price. So it made it really nice because you could really basically adjust your pricing wherever you wanted it. And a lot of people, including myself, were maxing our prices out when they were first listed on Thredup, and then adjusting down slowly over time in increments. But at this point, they are changing it, and I'm going to insert some images here for you guys showing you some of the communication that was going down yesterday. I was not able to get a hold of Thredup. For some reason, Thredup has shut off my chat. So for the last like 3 weeks, I have not been able to communicate with them via chat. I can only do it through email, and I've actually had some bag issues that I've had to email them about, and it's taking them a long time to get back to me. It took them like 2 weeks to get back to me about an issue with a lost item. So I don't know why that's going on. I feel like their communication recently and their processing has been like snail slow. It's been so slow. So I feel like they're making all of these changes because they're overwhelmed with the amount of increase in business that they've been having. And so let's talk about the change. So yesterday they decided to roll this out, and without any notice. They had just put it up and people found out about it, and I'll show you the inserts of what happened. So they basically changed it so that your prices could only be adjusted up to 50% more than what they set it at. So to give you a really easy example, if you sent them an item and they priced it at $100, you couldn't raise that price more than $150. So basically 50% more than what they priced it at. So that is a huge difference, because then you're really stuck relying on their pricing, and their pricing is so all over the place, you guys. I don't know if you have sent items to them, you probably have noticed this. The way that they set prices for new items, sometimes it's really great. They actually are pretty close to what I would have asked for, and then other times it's way off. Like, just an example, I sent them a designer bag the other day that was a patent leather, 100% leather bag, retailed for, oh geez, now I can't remember. I want to say around the $500 price range, maybe even 600, somewhere in there, hundreds of dollars basically. And they priced it at $12.99, you guys. And they set the retail price wrong as well. They set the original retail price for $45. So I emailed them, I sent them links to show them what the actual retail price was, and they were able to adjust the retail price, and then I was able to adjust my asking price from there. But they kept even though they adjusted the retail price on that item to the 500 or whatever, they kept the sell price that they wanted to get for it for $12.99. So I, of course, once they finished processing the bag, adjusted it to 80% of the retail they had set it at. But if that was under the new rules, I would have only been able to ask, what's that, $18 or $19 for that item. That would be crazy. I paid more than that for that item. So, and then, they take their fees out of that. And if there's any coupon used, then you lose there too. So anyway, it's a big change. This is going to be a huge game changer for anyone who is using Thredup as a reselling tool. So a lot of people yesterday, oh, and I should say before I move on, they have retracted it. So they have gone back. As of right now, you can still set your pricing to 80% of the retail price. However, they have stated, and again, I'll put some snapshots of other people's communications with them. They have said that it is going to be a change that they are rolling out soon. I think what happened is it's something that they want to do, but they obviously got a massive amount of backlash for doing it without giving any notice to anyone. So anyone's bags that were being processed yesterday all of a sudden had this change. Thank goodness I didn't have any bags being processed yesterday, so it didn't really affect me. But this is something that they have said they are going to do, but they have now said that they're going to give us a 30-day notice when they're ready to do it. So I think what's happening is they're fixing some tweaks as far as being able to make it only effective to new processes, because it was like affecting some people's current bags. So I think they're fixing some technical tweaks, or if I could talk. They're fixing some technical difficulties, but once they do that, they're probably going to give us a 30-day notice, and this will be the way that you set your pricing from here on out on Thredup. So this is a big deal, you guys. I actually had just filmed a video that was supposed to go up today about how I decide what to send to Thredup as far as inventory, what I decide to sell myself, and what I decide to send to Thredup. I told you guys it was coming. I filmed it. It was ready to go, and then this change happened. And I'm like, this video is obsolete now because it's totally going to be a complete different ball game now. So I have some thoughts on how I'm going to approach these changes, but I did want to kind of talk through it with you guys. So if you're selling on Thredup or planning to sell on Thredup, you really need to change the way that you think about it and what you're sending in. So a couple things. They have said that they're going to, like I said, they're going to give us a 30-day notice, and any bags that are already active, so they're already listed for sale on their website, will get to keep the old pricing module. So don't panic. I know a lot of people already did panic when this happened yesterday and pulled all their items off their site and have just said, I'm done with Thredup, I'm moving on. Don't panic yet. If you have bags already there, already up for sale, or bags that are near processing, keep them there. At least this is what I would suggest. This is what I am personally doing. I'm going to keep them there until I get that 30-day notice, and then I'm going to figure out what I want to do. I actually have 26 bags pending processing, you guys. So I have 28 active, and those I'm just going to leave alone because those are not going to be affected. But the 26 that are sitting there waiting to be processed, and some of them have been waiting to be processed since May and June, and they've been there a very long time. I didn't do expedited on these bags, obviously. So I'm gonna wait and see. I'm hoping that most of those get processed before this change goes into effect so they can keep their 80%. But if not, Thredup has said that you can ask for those bags back, and they'll return them since they're making changes to their policies. So keep that in mind. Now, I do want to talk about how I'm going to adjust my the way that I use Thredup because of these changes. So like I said, everything that I've already sent to them, it's there. I'm just gonna let it ride out and see how it goes. But I have a lot of stuff literally boxed up, ready to go right in front of me. I have 6 boxes, big 30-pound boxes ready to go to Thredup. And now I'm gonna have to open them all up and change my plans because a lot of these items, if I sent them in with their new structure, I would probably be losing money. I think like 90% of what I get that I send to Thredup, I pay $2 or less. So those items I probably would still make a profit on. Even if it's a small profit, I would still make a profit. However, I do pay up for some of the luxury items that I send them. And for example, they have a dress there right now from Derek Lamb that is listed, and the retail price of it was $13.50. I'll include snapshots. It was $13.50, and they originally priced it for like $80. So obviously I adjusted my pricing, and I think it's currently at like $1,200 or something. But if they sold it at the $80, I don't know what the payout is on that. I know it's not 80%. Poshmark or Thredup would take more than a 20% fee for that. I don't know what the exact fee is, but I would probably break even. I don't even think I would make a profit on that item, so that's not something that I would continue to send to them because I couldn't make a profit on it. So this is what my plan is. I am going to continue sending items to them that I get from the bins or in donations. If I get it in a donation, I guess I don't really care what, you know, what the price they set at. I mean, I care, but it's not going to, obviously, I'll still make a profit no matter what. But for the items from the bins, I actually am going to have to even be a lot pickier there with what I pick up, because I was picking up, you know, express items that were new with tags and things like that. I won't be able to make a profit on that anymore. I'll probably just like make my money back, which doesn't make it worth my time to pick it up and send it in. So I'm gonna have to be a lot more picky with what I'm even picking up there. But I do have a tip for you guys. They had the, oh, what do they call it? It's like a payout calculator or something on their website that you could use. It was a free tool to kind of estimate what you thought they were going to price an item at. Previously, that tool was basically worthless because you could set your price really wherever you wanted, so it didn't matter where they were setting your price. Now, it really does matter where they're setting your price. So that tool was actually fairly accurate. I feel like that's what they use for their people to determine what to set the prices at. So if you have an item, let's just use an express top as an example. If you have an express top, you can type that in and see exactly what they would price it at approximately. So I'm guessing, but I'm going to say it was probably around $7 to $10 is what they'll price it at. And then you can do the math yourself, you know, add that extra 50% and see where it would fall, and then you can kind of calculate what their fees would be to see if it would actually be worth your time sending it in. So it's going to take a little bit more work. I think up front, it'll take more work really doing your homework and figuring out what are they going to be able to set these prices at? What am I going to make on these items? And eventually, just like with Poshmark or any other platform that you sell on, you'll start to learn what's going to sell well there. But it's going to be a learning curve for sure for all of us, I feel like, if you've been just maxing out your prices, because we won't be able to do that. I mean, you can max it out at their new terms, but it's going to be so much different. So personally for me, what I'm going to be doing is using that calculator tool before, as I'm loading my box up to send to them, I'm going to use that on every single item and see, you know, how much did I pay for this? Am I going to be able to make a profit? I really prefer to make at least a $10 profit per item. That's what I've always kind of shot for when sending into Thredup. So like I said, I'm gonna have to be a lot pickier with what I'm picking up at the bins, because I don't think I'll be able to make those profits anymore on some of the more mall brand items. And then also, I definitely am not going to be sending them anything that I'm paying up for, because I don't believe that I'll be able to make a profit. Thredup is trying to price their items, I think, from like 70 to 90% off retail price, which when you're looking at these luxury items, they have a much higher value than that. So I'm actually going to be looking at sending more into the Real. I have used them in the past. I just have been preferring Thredup because I had so much more control over my pricing there. But now that that's changing, I think the Real is going to be my go-to for my more luxury items. So all the things that I have already saved up to send to Thredup, I think I'm going to actually just be sending to the Real instead. So yeah, that's kind of my strategy. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think about all these changes? Are you just getting off the platform altogether? I know a lot of people said they are. They're just fed up with Thredup. I can understand why. I've been very frustrated with them recently as well. Like I mentioned, they took away my chat function, which I saw a lot of other people have been able to chat them, so I don't know why I can't. It's like grayed out. It won't let me use it. So I was frustrated about that. I haven't been able to order any new labels in weeks, and that's why I have this stockpile of boxes here ready to go. But I'm kind of glad now because I am going to be revising these. Also, I have had a lot of difficulties with them recently, like setting prices or setting the MSRPs wrong, like I mentioned. What else? Oh, the processing. The processing has been crazy. I've learned that I've just started paying that extra $16 for everything I've been sending in recently, but I have a lot of boxes sitting there waiting that have been waiting for a very, very long time, and that is extremely frustrating. I've also noticed, I don't know about you guys, but I've noticed I have some bags from May, but they processed some bags that I sent in July, and both of them were at the standard without the expedited processing. So it's confusing to me, and when I asked them, they're like, oh, it's because they're at different warehouses, but it's just frustrating to see your stuff sitting there for so long with no updates. So yes, I've been a little bit frustrated with Thredup too. I think that's why they're making these changes though, you guys. I feel like what's happened is they've been overwhelmed by a lot of resellers joining into selling on Thredup, and I think they've also, got an increase in just regular sellers, just people selling from their home as well, because people are clearing out and downsizing and stuff. But I think the extra influx of resellers on their platform maxing out their prices has made them reevaluate, because when you do set your prices higher, things are going to sit longer, and Thredup's module, or their Thredup's definitely geared towards moving things quickly for less money. That's what they want to do. So they don't want their sellers pricing things high. I've been getting alerts every time I change my pricing. It alerts me. It's like, don't change your pricing. It's going to make it take longer to sell. And yeah, so I kind of saw this coming. I figured they're probably getting frustrated with all of the price adjustments and people sitting on items. They don't want to do that because they have limited space in their warehouse. They have to store these items, and they don't want to be constantly like shipping items back to a seller and then have the seller turn around and ship it back to them, and trying to list the same items over and over again. It doesn't make sense for them to continue to do that. So I understand why they're doing it, but as a seller, it is disappointing because I've had some really great sales at that maxed out 80%. So I'm really sad to see that going away. I was honestly trying to ramp it up and really make it, I was really going to try to make it my main platform, but obviously now that is not going to be able to happen. So I still want to use Thredup, even though I am frustrated right now with all of the changes and everything. I'm just going to have to learn to adapt, because for me, I'm a one-woman show. I'm doing this all out of my basement on my own. I'm running several businesses right now between my reselling, the ice cream truck that we own. I'm, obviously here on YouTube and other social media platforms as well. What else do I do? I don't know. I feel like I do a million things. I'm a mom of 5 kids, so we're busy, and in order to expand, I either need to hire an assistant or I need to source out some of my work. So that's what Thredup was able to do for me. I was able to expand the amount of items that I had for sale really, really quickly without putting all the work into it. So that's why I really, really like Thredup. I can send them a box, and besides packing the box up, that takes me like maybe an hour to pack up the box, and the sourcing, I'm already sourcing for my Poshmark business. So it was minimal work in in for me and able to expand what I have out there for sale. So that's why it's very appealing to me. It's still very appealing to me. I just really have to figure out how to maximize the money I'm making over there to make it make sense. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do moving forward. But again, I'd like to hear what you guys think of all this. Are you going to continue selling there? What kind of adjustments are you going to make? And yeah, that would be super helpful for all of us as a community. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any other questions, I feel like I kind of covered what they're doing, but if you have questions, let me know. I'll try to answer them as best as I can, and we'll just see how this goes. I'm hoping it takes them a while to figure out all of these glitches so that we have some time for them to process what, at least what I have sitting there, I'm hoping, or most of it, but we'll see. I have a feeling it's coming pretty quick. So be prepared, watch your emails, watch your bags closely there, and yeah, I hope it goes well for everybody. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.